Hi, we are the Erskines, and this is our miracle child, Regan.
Hi.
We are one of the many miracle families, and we started this journey only a few years ago as an actual miracle family, but we started back before that actually with Mercy Children's Hospital. When we tried to get actually pregnant, we had to start with fertility treatments with both of our children. So we've been part of the Mercy Hospital, Mercy system, long before we knew that there's going to actually be some medical issues with our children. The journey started back with our kids when we went here and was blessed to be part of the Mercy Hospital. And me going to the hospital with Regan, she had some challenges for me when I was pregnant, and I actually started there. I was on bed rest leading up to her delivery, and then she kind of threw us for a little bit of a loop and arrived a few weeks early. But here she was our bouncing, beautiful baby girl, and we were blessed. We were overjoyed when she came, and she was as healthy as she could be. And we brought her home. Everything was great. We were overjoyed, and till the very first sickness came, and that's when things kind of took a turn for us, and we weren't sure what was going on with her. And that's kind of when some things turned for us, and we had to start going to the hospitals, and it seemed like, a lot. Nobody knew what was really going on for us, and doctors didn't really have any questions or no answers to all of our questions, and we would go there, and she had what they would see was called a bicarb level seemed to be dropping, and she would get dehydrated on the first time of any kind of an illness. It kind of went on for months, and we would come home, she would get sick, we'd come home, and this was a repeat things, and we would be kind of the frequent flyer there. So after a while, we would spend some nights there, and the lovely Dr. Mills, God love him, came into the room, and he asked us to do late one night a specialty test, and it was called carnitine deficiency. And after the fourth night there, I remember this, he came in, he asked if he could do it, and it came back that she had a metabolic disorder called carnitine deficiency. It seems kind of odd, but we were actually thankful that something came back. Actually, not knowing what it was, we had answers. We, could deal with this. Not really knowing what it was, we finally had an answer to this. It was a long haul, but we knew we could deal with this. So being on medicine, a little baby, she was on medicine twice a day. We knew we were through this, maybe some hard times ahead of us. She had to have some tests on her heart, her liver, and her kidneys, but we had answers, and we would get through it. She still, after that, was getting sick. She would come up with some kidney, like urinary tract infections and everything. She had got them over and over again over these next couple months leading up to about a year and a half. And so we had to go to a kidney specialist, Dr. Tarabishi. So they diagnosed her with renal tubular acidosis. And that we went to the specialist, seemed to get some help. She got reprieved, and you would see your child in pain, and at first you didn't know why she would just sit there and scream with a high temperature. Again, we were over it, we had some diagnosis, we were fine, and that, she, other than that being sick, she was a very, very happy baby, and that, slept through the night, beautiful, besides these infections that she always seemed to get. In the meantime, she's now been through, she had multiple ear tubes because they didn't seem to stick with her. She had her adenoids out, but she was always getting infections, and that we knew how to take care of the dehydration because of being diagnosed with carnitine deficiency. and they couldn't figure out why. So Dr. Mills then now sent us to an immune doctor, Dr. Lois Nelson, and we were diagnosed under the age of, it was like 2.5 to 3, and she started to receive, she was diagnosed with an immune deficiency. So she was then sent to the hospital, and she received it was plasma into her, and she goes every 3 weeks to the hospital, and she would sit there in the hospital for about 5 hours and get plasma and drugs put into her system. To this date, she actually still receives these treatments in the hospital. She was a pro. She would put her arm up there sometimes talking to the nurse and telling them, joking with them, telling them that, hey, don't get messy, don't get the blood all over them, telling them which arm to use, hey, this one's not a good vein and everything. Throughout this whole process, we will have the staff talking to them, saying, they'll have dialogue going back and forth. The nurses and doctors will like play games with you. It's a loving staff. And all the times and all the sicknesses and everything, there was still one little glitch. She was still receiving belly aches. Thinking that all this time that you have these infections, why are you still receiving the belly aches? My son actually had belly aches leading up to things. And Dr. Mills did send us to a GI doctor, Dr. Mark Nadaf. And so Dr. Mills wondered, what's the odds of 2 children in your family to have ulcerative colitis? So they sent Regan off to the doctor to have her tested for this. Ulcerative colitis is actually an adult disease. So when they tested Regan for it at the age of 4, she came back with ulcerative colitis. So there's not many patients in the state that actually have ulcerative colitis and everything. So she was put on an adult drug for this. She's had a hard time these past years with this drug and staying in remission. Over the last year, she has taken a downward turn. They cannot keep her in remission. She's had her struggles but you would never look at her thinking that she has anything wrong with her. You would ask her the question, and she will tell you that she doesn't have anything wrong with her. She goes to her dance classes, a lot of them, and she doesn't miss them. She will go to her treatments in the hospital, and then she will ask you after treatment if she's still going to dance that next night. She is the strongest person that I will ever meet, and she is our fighter. Many of these kids, as miracle kids, are the strongest people you'll ever meet. We give many credit to the staff at Mercy Children's Hospital. They are our support system. They will hold our hands at night. They will talk to you. They'll answer all your questions. All of the people that raise money for us, that stand for us, are our families and the people that donate to us and to Mercy Children's Hospital. We owe them a big thank you, and I want to thank everybody.